Fortis Healthcare is in focus. In fact, the company posted its fourth quarter results with net profit down 7% while margins remain flat. Now, despite the dip in profit, Fortis reported strong revenue growth. In fact, to shed more light on this, we are joined by Dr. Ashutosh Raghuvanshi, the MD and CEO of Fortis Healthcare. Dr. Raghuvanshi, thank you very much for taking the time out and joining us here on ET Now. Let me begin by asking you this. The growth has been good, but a decline in profit due to exceptional impairment loss of rupees 53.6 crores. So what is the impairment that the company has undertaken, and is it recurring?
No, actually the impairment comes essentially mainly from the Lanka investment, where the share price of the company has changed, as well as there have been changes in the currency valuation. And those two factors have led to slightly this kind of impairment.
And as you point that out, this is a one-time expense, right?
Yeah, this is a one-time, but it depends on the performance of that stock. But that is not a kind of a long-term thing for us, and we would take the necessary actions about whether we want to hold that stock or whether we want to dispose it off at the right time.
Right, and financial year 2025 has seen good growth in margins, but how much more improvement in margins should we expect in the financial year 2026, and what will in fact drive the margins?
Yes, so we have had multiple factors which have been sort of improving our profitability profile. Of course, the occupancy numbers have gone up slightly, but there is still a lot of headroom over there, and we expect the occupancy to go to around 72% and then further up from there. So that is one of the drivers. The other drivers are the case mix. We have got a lot of high-end equipment. We have got robos, for example, in 8 of our hospitals, and the surgical and the orthopedic robos in about 12 of our hospitals. So the high-end surgeries are happening more. So as a change of case mix, the RPOBs have grown. So that has been another lever. The third lever which we are going to get is that there is an addition of about 800 brownfield beds this year. These beds are going to come through the year. Some of them will come early part of the year, and like in Noida and Faridabad, and in FMRI it will come probably by the end of the year. So that will give further uptick to the profitability profile. So if you look at our profitability profile, it has been increasing by about 2% year on year, and I think this trend will continue for time for further in future as well.
But let me ask you this, how much capex will be required, in fact, your expansion, and how much will it in fact add to the debt of the company?
Yeah, so we have a capex plan of about 500 crores per annum. Now, a lot of this capex which is going into these beds has already gone in the last year. As I said, that the beds in Noida and Faridabad, etc., are actually ready to commission. They will be commissioned within this quarter. So those beds are already, the expense has been made. So essentially, whatever brownfield expansion we are doing, not only these 800 beds, but the further about another 1,000 beds which will come over the next 2 years. All these beds are from the internal accruals. For this, we don't need fresh funding.
And as you pointed out, increasing debt has been an issue for the company. In fact, debt now stands at 2,196 crore versus rupees 859 crore year on year versus 2,341 crore, that is quarter on quarter. So what are the debt reduction plans?
Yeah, so we currently, our net debt to EBITDA ratio is about 1.1, so which is still in a very comfortable range. So unless until we have a large kind of acquisition, we would be in a very, very comfortable position, and gradually we would be able to reduce this debt position because our EBITDA is sufficient to take care of the liabilities.
And Dr. Raghuvanshi, end of 26, where should we see debt levels?
Yeah, so end of 25 would depend on, whether we have further acquisitions coming during the year. So it will depend on that. But I think it is likely to remain at about 1.5 level. We are unlikely to reduce it this year. Our balance sheet is pretty comfortable for us, and we believe that this is a very comfortable level. And if you look at the industry also, many players are at the level of 2 to 3 times as well. So we believe that we are in a pretty comfortable position at the moment.
In fact, the international business has grown 17% this quarter. But given the geopolitical issues that we're looking at, how much growth should we expect in the financial year of 2026?
Yeah, so you are right that, there are a lot of doubts about how this business is going to grow this year. We have seen some numbers go down especially from Bangladesh during the last year. And similarly this year, because of the conflicts, we expect that some of the traffic from Central Asia or the Middle East might come down. But we haven't seen that trend so far. So I expect that there may not be much growth, but we will be able to maintain at the same level as what we have done during this year.
And your occupancy has been good, and the recently launched Manesar facility is exhibiting, in fact, steady traction with the Q4 financial year 2025 occupancy, in fact, at 38%. But when do you expect the Manesar facility to reach the company's average occupancy levels?
Yeah, so we have commissioned only 90 beds over there, and it is approximately, it's working at about 40% occupancy right now. But we are seeing steady month-on-month growth, and we expect to open about 150 beds later this year. And we expect that the occupancy level in this hospital should go to about 50 to 60% by the end of this year.
Dr. Raghuvanshi, this year the company's diagnostic business has also shown good growth, but what is the outlook for this business? Have you taken any price hike in the diagnostic business?
Yeah, so we have commissioned only 90 beds over there, and it is approximately, it's working at about 40% occupancy right now. But we are seeing steady month-on-month growth, and we expect to open about 150 beds later this year. And we expect that the occupancy level in this hospital should go to about 50 to 60% by the end of this year.
And as you pointed out, you have won the trademark for Fortis. How much would the company, in fact, save on royalty?
So that would be to the tune of about 0.5% of the revenue, net revenue.
All right, Dr. Raghuvanshi, I appreciate you joining us here on ET Now, but for the moment, we leave the conversation at that. On that note, that's all I have for you in this edition. Thank you very much for watching.